Wednesday, May 26. Welcome to CGN News. The Guyana police force has denied reports that it was told to ban Haitians from entering the country. In a statement, the force said the Commissioner of Police was never instructed by the Minister of Home Affairs to ban persons from Haiti entering Guyana. The police then clarified a recent incident in which 17 out of 61 Haitians were refused entry on Sunday because they did not satisfy immigration requirements. These 17 Haitians were reportedly kept at the airport and departed on Tuesday, May 25, aboard a Caribbean Airlines flight from Guyana. The airline, airport officials, and the Ministry of Home Affairs assisted with feeding and accommodation for the affected persons during their stay at the airport, the statement added. Prime Minister of Trinidad, Dr. Rowley, has reiterated a call for an inclusive global response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Dr. Rowley says such an initiative is imperative in dealing with the impact of the virus. Addressing Tuesday's United Nations Roundtable, Dr. Rowley said an essential element of this response to the pandemic is ensuring equitable and fair access to COVID-19 vaccines. He said, as the chairman of CARICOM, he has been advocating for such equity with the Director General of the World Health Organization and various heads of government. The IMF says the Caribbean and Latin America are among the economies most adversely affected by the effects of the pandemic. The Royal Cayman Island Police Service on Monday released a photo of the edible marijuana treat that sent several high school students to hospital earlier this month. The police said that they were releasing a photo of the treat, which consists of Fruity Pebbles cereal, fashioned into a block and infused with ganja as a means of raising awareness. The public is advised to be on the lookout for these ganja-infused items. In May, police officers were called to the Clifton Hunter High School after it is alleged that several students had fallen ill after ingesting a snack. The students were rushed to hospital and an investigation launched. Police later found the suspicious cereal item, which was later confirmed to have contained ganja. A Jamaican woman is one of the two fatalities of Saturday's mass shooting at a house party in New Jersey, United States. The deceased has been identified as 25-year-old Asia Hester, a healthcare staffer of Gould Town in New Jersey. Family members described Hester as a hard-working healthcare staffer who went to the United States from Jamaica, according to a report in the New York Post. Hester and 30-year-old Kevin Elliott were shot dead at a birthday barbecue in Cumberland County in New Jersey, and 12 others injured. Guests told the New York Post that the violence may have stemmed from a turf war, and Elliott was possibly the target. People leaving Cuba can no longer change their local bills back to US dollars, euros, or other hard currencies at the official exchange rate under a new policy announced this week. The government closed the airport departure lounge exchange booths that had allowed travelers to change up to $300 at the official rate of 24 Cuban pesos to the US dollar, about double the black market rate inside the country. That gives outbound visitors little options but to spend the pesos they had bought before leaving the country. The state's Cadeca Exchange Company said the measure was due to a drastic drop in tourism during the pandemic and the resulting lack of hard currency. After a year of battling the pandemic, Bermuda announced its reopening with a new luxury hotel and cruise ships arriving. The St. Regis Bermuda welcomed its first guests after a ribbon-cutting ceremony, while the Viking Orion, anchored off Dockyard, was hailed as a landmark moment in the island's recovery. Premier and Tourism Minister David Burt said the opening of St. Regis would bring much-needed activity to St. George's. A member of the hotel's management team, Miguel Puroy, said the St. Regis opened on time and on budget, and he was confident the final product would make Bermuda's tourism industry proud. He added that it was hoped the hotel contributes to place Bermuda as the luxury destination we all dream of. The Oceanside Hotel, which has a newly renovated golf course, includes 120 guest rooms and suites. The British Virgin Islands is exploring reports that companies have been terminating employees who have refused to take the COVID-19 vaccine. Premier Andrew Fahey says that although he is a full advocate for vaccination, persons have the right of choice. He also said that a statement on the legal findings related to this matter should be expected in a few weeks. The government has repeatedly insisted that it will not make vaccination mandatory. However, health officials have encouraged persons to take the AstraZeneca vaccines that are available to help curb the spread of the virus. Mexico, under a joint production agreement with Argentina, will shortly begin exporting AstraZeneca coronavirus vaccines to other Latin American nations. Following the deal struck in August to supply around 150 million shots, the Argentinian firm is supplying the active component, and Mexico is responsible for bottling the vaccines. A first shipment of 800,000 doses will be sent to Argentina this weekend, while Mexico will also receive its first batch, the government said, after delays blamed on a shortage of packing supplies. Mexican Foreign Minister Marcelo Ebrard told reporters that it had been a long and complicated process. President Manuel Lopez Obrador said Mexico was committed to helping nations that do not have enough vaccines. 3 people have been arrested in Italy over Sunday's cable car accident that left 14 dead. Investigators say the emergency brakes had been disabled and the 3 members of the operating company were aware. According to a local transport official, the brakes failure meant the car was traveling at over 100 kilometers per hour, 62 miles per hour, when the cable broke. The car plunged 65 feet into the side of the Matarone mountain near Lake Maggiore in northern Italy. Prosecutors are carrying out an investigation into suspected involuntary homicide and negligence over the incident. The 3 suspects have been identified as the owner, director, and CEO of the company that managed the cable car. And finally, the 1-year anniversary of George Floyd's death was supposed to be a time to mark passage of legislation to, quote, root out systematic racism, end quote, in the criminal justice system, in the words of President Joe Biden. Instead, Floyd's family visited Washington on Tuesday to mourn with Biden and prod Congress to act. Floyd's brother, in addressing reporters and politicians, stressed the need to work together to ensure that people do not live in fear in America anymore. Later, family members spent an hour with Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris at the White House. A sister, Bridget Floyd, stayed away, aiming to come only when there is a bill to be signed into law. That's it for CGN News. I'm Scott Wilson. Thanks for watching.